Welcome to Haunted Road Media. I'm author and ghost historian Mike Ricksecker. Today we are reviewing the movie The Witch, which just hit the box office on February 19th for me, this past Friday. Now this movie has been getting some high reviews, but I want to preface this by saying it's not exactly what you think it is. First of all, it is the directorial debut of Robert Eggers, and this is also an independent movie, and it was getting a lot of great reviews out at Sundance. So it's not James Wan with the whole Hollywood machine behind him to create The Conjuring, nor does it try to be, so just keep that in mind. What The Witch is a high-tension period piece about a Puritan family in early colonial America. So you're getting the feel of Salem witch trials, maybe they just stepped off the Mayflower, that sort of thing. When the movie starts, we witness this family being banished out of their colony, out of what they call the plantation, into the wilderness. And so it becomes a sort of survival movie of sorts as they build their home and they're trying to survive as the colder months are coming into play. But then there's something also dark and malevolent off in the forest, and you start to see hints of that as the movie goes along. Like I said, there's a lot of high tension. This isn't the type of horror movie where there's a lot of blood and gore in your face, although there is a bit of that and there are a couple shocking moments. But if you're going for the jump scare, you're not really getting that here. What you're getting is a lot of high suspense, a lot of tension, a lot of mind games as things that you thought were real turn out to not be real, and things that you didn't think were real maybe do start to become real. What I really liked about this movie was the depiction of early colonial America. You want to talk about getting immersed into the colonial lifestyle and how Puritans were back then. You got to be ready for some real hardcore religious talk, and that is the way they used to speak back then. It's just we're not used to it these days, but from their manner of speech with the these and the thous, you gotta kind of keep up a little bit. And their everyday religious walk, where basically everything in their life somehow, some way has to do with God or being tested, or something was given to you by the grace of God, and you gotta pray all the time over different things. Is really that heavy religious type of lifestyle, and they do a fantastic job of pulling that off. And the acting, you believe that these actors are really in that lifestyle. They do a fantastic job. They pull it off really well. And there's other movies out there where they try to throw out some these and thous and thines, and you're not really getting it. But these actors pull that off really well, and it's very believable. You also really get a sense back then of how things that didn't quite go right or were a little bit out of the ordinary, must be witchcraft. Those sorts of accusations get thrown out there, and they're taken very seriously, and they were back then. They were taken extremely seriously when those types of accusations were thrown out there. So when somebody gets accused of that in this movie, it becomes a big deal. The problem is off in the forest, there really is a witch, and that witch really starts interfering with their life, and you watch the disintegration of this family they've already been banished from their colony, and there's a lot of strife as to whether or not they should go back and beg for forgiveness because of the hardships that they're suffering out in the wilderness. Now, there are parts of this movie that do drag on a little bit as they're doing this character development and as they're building up this tension. So I'm not going to lie about that. There are some parts that you're kind of like, is it going to progress a little bit here? There's some daily lifestyle things about this farm that they're trying to build that is a little monotonous, but it does really set the tone for this movie and how their daily hardships play out, and how that really actually does build that tension. So if you have patience, you're good. But those that are looking for the boogeyman to jump out every 2 minutes or 2 seconds, you're not going to get that here. This movie is meant to really set a tone in a place and time and play with your mind a little bit as you see the duplicity and the lies that are played out, and as there's this malevolent force off in the forest that is drawing them out there, and you see it personified and throughout some other things that come and actually visit the farm. So it really does play with your mind quite a bit. So if you're into that sort of movie, this is really going to play well for you. So I really did like The Witch. I think it's a fantastic period piece that takes a really in-depth look at early colonial America, just from the perspective of one family trying to make it out in the wilderness. And then you have this dark, malevolent force that's lurking beyond, that really heightens the tension. It draws from a lot of folklore and early colonial myths, so you'll see a lot of those elements in play as well. So if that's your sort of thing, this is definitely the movie for you. Thanks again for watching. If you like this video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you've seen the movie and want to make some comments below, that would be fantastic. And if you have not yet, please subscribe. Until next time.